All right, party people, what's up? I don't know if you read HN, but I do. And I saw this thing refine yesterday, had a bunch of comments. Looks like they've got a lot of active developers and active projects. So yeah, I figured why not do a quick starter template for it. So I'm hoping in the next hour we can do that. I found, from their official starter packages, this one that looks fun, Fine Foods dashboard kind of thing. So I'm going to try and deploy that. So we're going to go and make a new repo, call this refine food demo. And it's going to be this to do a starter video. Make it private, just make an empty repository. And yeah, so I'll do my development on Cloud Shell. So we're going to close the terminal, sites. This is basically my local, right? Just think of this as my laptop for all intents and purposes. And I'm supposed to do this. I just don't like to install anything on my laptop. I like to do everything in the cloud. Hence the workspace is part of Coherence and all of that. But yeah, in this case, we're just going to try this thing. All right, so I'm not sure what that did exactly, but I think if I do cd find foods, I should see some stuff. That looks about right. Don't see a node module, so I'll probably need to do npm install. While resolving, unable to resolve dependency tree. I'm supposed to use yarn. I never know what I'm supposed to use with any JavaScript project these days, and that README didn't say anything about it, right? Oh, but whatever. Let's see if this works. I'm sure one of these will. Okay, I got some deprecated dependencies. Not going to worry too much about that, because this is just for fun. But yeah, I guess we're fine. It's sort of being marketed in interesting ways. It's some combination of, they say it's not like Windmill or Tooljet or Airplane, but kind of seems like it is. And then I read about it on their site, so they ended up comparing it to, they end up comparing it to benchmarks, right? No, I forget where they compare it to, but they compare it to like Redwood and Next. So it seems to me more like a very robust framework than like a meta framework almost than like a product like a internal tools no code type of thing. But yeah, whatever it is, it seems interesting. We're still installing dependencies here. Yeah, whatever it is seems interesting, and we're gonna learn more about it as we use it, which is my most fun way to learn more about things. Right, they have a fresh approach. It's developer-centric, code first over no code. Very much aligns with Coherence, right? We're not a no-code tool. We're a full code tool, but that really just focuses on giving you a great developer experience for writing code. It's very React focused. All right, so I don't think we're going to need this anymore. We are going to need this. This is, yeah, sometimes JavaScript dependencies take a long time to install. Probably going to edit this out of the video. I'll just pause, come back when this is done. All right, so we're back in business here. All right, so we're back in business here. And all right, so we got this working. Yeah, we are gonna do, I want to find that. Yeah, okay, so we've got this, we've got Docker file. So we're gonna try running this. We're not gonna run it in Docker, we're just gonna run it here. I guess that's not what we want. We want in yarn start. Okay, here we go. We're running. Let's see if this thing works. 5173. Okay, so Cloud Run, we can do this preview thing. Change port 5173. Change preview. All right, I see, yeah, here we go. I see some stuff working. So it looks like we've got a very successful little business here. A lot of stuff is working. So yeah, we're done with that. We're gonna, what are we gonna do now? We're gonna add a Coherence YAML. So we're gonna go to docs.coherence.com. And overall, popular framework, this is going to be pretty close to Next. I have a feeling it's going to be something just like this. And we're going to add in here, Coherence.yaml. This, we call backend, type of backend's good. I think we want yarn. And then in my package JSON, what do I have to find? I have start, build, preview, refine. What does refine do? Refine. Help proxy, details, check updates. Let's say yarn run refine dev. What does that do? Does that still work? Yeah, overall this thing seems fine. So like, start with just running refine dev anyway, so it's doing the same thing. Of course it's gonna work. Yeah, this is the last demo I did. Actually gonna go ahead and delete this thing. So what I need to do is delete my database. Infrastructure, DB1. I need to log into AWS, one sec. Okay, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go here. We're going to delete. We need to modify. We need to disable deletion protection. I mean, this is the one I made for this demo, so I don't care. Unenable this. Continue. Apply immediately. Modify. Now I should be good to delete this thing. Now, a lot of people get confused by this, and we could do way better on this UI. Obviously, delete's not where we want to focus. But this is going to say deletion initiated. It's going to take some time. You don't really get UI feedback. But at some point, we're going to come back here in this thing. You know, at the end of what we're doing next, we'll come back here and check. This should be gone. So we'll go new application. And we'll do this one on, yeah, I guess we'll do it in the same place, right? Console.api this. Yeah, let's just grab our account ID and let's throw it in here. US East 1, and this is going to be refine food dash my repo URL. All right, so we got to get this stuff into Git. So go here, we go git status, git init, all these instructions, right? Get init, git add dot. Yeah, let's just check this, right? We don't need that anymore. Let's just check this. So we want yarn run dev, yarn run start. Is that right? In the package JSON, there's no dev. So either way, we're doing start, I guess. We don't really want to run dev. We want to run, where was the refine help text? Yarn refine. Okay, is this a pure front-end app? I guess it is. That's one thing I don't understand here. Is this a pure front-end app, or does it have a server running? Fine. Open source. Documentation. Yeah, I'm just trying to understand more about this thing. All right, deploying your project to a preparative environment. We're doing that already. We're launching the refine app. We're generating CRUD. These are about to push to GitHub. We know how to do that. Okay, we're going to use Netlify. I think that means. Yeah, I think that means this is a front-end app. So I think what we're going to do is in here, the type is going to be front-end. We'll call this dashboard. We will still have local packages. We don't need a prod. We need, yeah, we're going to go take from our docs a better example that actually is for front-end. Popular frameworks, React example. This is what we need, and it's going to be dashboard. We can call this whatever we want on line 1. You can put whatever you want there. Assets path. So where does this stuff end up? Let's yarn refine build. Yarn build, yarn dev. It's going to be yarn refine build. Refine dev. Right, I think we could use. Okay. We should use yarn start and yarn build. That seems to do some TypeScript stuff and yarn. Okay, we can use their Docker file, that's fine. Okay, so it's in this, easy. Okay, and now we can just check this yarn start to make sure it works. Find dev, and it's going to be fine. Okay, so now we can get add dot status should be all this stuff. We don't want this git. We've never committed anything, so we're just going to do this the hard way. Git init. We removed this. This should be get ignored, really, right? It's going to be dist. Should get rid of the directory, right? Yeah, no dist. Great. Okay, so we're going to get add dot. We're going to get commit, first commit. Pretty sure branch is already named, but I guess we'll just make sure. GitHub's telling us to do it. Cool if this auto-copied the next line as you went. Okay, git push main. Okay. All set. So we should have our stuff here. Great. All right, we're going to be done with Cloud Shell, I think. We are now going to take this URL, throw out this. Continue. So yeah, obviously one thing I forgot to, as I always point out, is just to check the region and the branch that you're deploying to. You can change those to whatever you want. I've installed this GitHub app in all my repos for this demos account before, but otherwise you just, click the button, click the authorize pop-up in GitHub, and then every user, so only one person has to do this. Every user in Coherence will do their own authentication, which gets them an OAuth token against that app, so it's scoped to whatever repos and permissions that has in order to let you use the full functionality of Coherence, including the workspace, which uses your GitHub account. So now we've got to go to the AWS console and go to IAM, so it's going to be US East, AWS Management Console. I don't need that docs page anymore. We're going to go to IAM. We're going to be adding, we'll be following these instructions. So roles, custom trust policy, create role, custom trust. We throw this JSON in there. We go next. We throw this permissions, which is admin, which is this one. We go next. We copy the name. For Coherence, infra management. You can put whatever you want in this description, obviously. You create the role. All right, all set. Always takes a second with AWS. I'll try and continue. Yeah, didn't work yet, but it will in a minute. Google's instant on that. Alright. If we need to add environment variables, we can go ahead and do that here. Bulk add, just you could copy your .env and paste it in here. I don't think I need any variables to make this work based on what I've seen in development, so just gonna skip that for now. But obviously in a real application, that's something you'd be using. And then, yeah, we've got our dashboard detected. Since I basically just copied a working YAML from our docs with small tweaks to yarn commands that we tested in our dev environment, I'm pretty confident I can just hit configure. But if I wanted to, I could use this validator and run the test to make sure that it's still a little bit alpha, which is why it's hidden in advance. But that would make sure that the Docker image builds and that the application produces valid assets in dist as configured. But yeah, we're just going to jump in and do some stuff in our AWS account. So yeah, this is now doing the initial infrastructure update. There's a bug right now. We just changed this UI. I think it looks great. If you watch some old videos, you can see what the old one looks like. But we introduced a bug where we lost this modal, but not going to stop me from doing this today. So we'll get a deployment in about 15 minutes after this initial job that's running, which is going to create even more stuff after this Route 53 zone is finished. And yeah, we're just waiting. So I'll come back when that's ready. All right, so I think it's been about 10 minutes and that job is done. Coherence shows you everything that we've done. So this is what we saw before. We had a Route 53 zone. Once we get some of that back, we use that metadata for internal purposes, and we provision the infrastructure for the deployment. Obviously in our docs, we spell out what we're doing in AWS with all these different services. But as the app evolves and you add and remove environments and resources and services and whatever, it's gonna show you what's happening and why. So it's pretty cool. And now we should have a build running in our first environment, which this has already got a domain and a valid URL for. This will be a 404 because we haven't deployed anything yet. But CloudFront's fired up test 3 here. So yeah, pretty soon a build stage is going to pop in, running our own AWS using Code Pipeline and Cloud Build and Code Build, right? And hopefully we have a working deployment at the end of that. And obviously I've done other demos and other setup examples where I talked about all these features, but we have the workspace in the toolbox in addition to the branch deployments, right? So on Coherence, you've got your initial integration branch, which is what we just set up. You could also, do your initial setup on not your real integration branch if you wanted to. We have branch previews, which are going to use either an existing branch or create a new branch and give you branch deployments of your app so you can do QA or testing without stepping on each other's toes. And then you've got static environments like staging or demo that you can push code into. So yeah, let's see what happened here. Just see our first build failed. So something to learn. Link to execution details. What do we see? Right, npm install, the same thing we saw locally. So let's go back to our Cloud Shell. And let's close this. And yeah, here what we want to do is yarn install. And I don't even think we have a .npmrc, right? npm run bootstrap scope. Yeah, let's try and build this thing, right? So yeah, we want to copy yarn.block, right? And then we want yarn install, and we're going to just use yarn to be consistent here. I don't really like the Alpine variants. I don't think they add much, so I'm just going to stick with regular old Node 18. Right, this is going to copy dist into opt app. We don't really need this last stage because Coherence is just going to copy this stuff out anyway. So, it wouldn't make a difference if this thing had just worked. It would have been fine to leave it. You don't need to modify this to use it on Coherence, but you saw the Docker image didn't build when I didn't touch it. I mean, we could probably prove that here before we made any of our changes. Docker build -t test dot. Assuming we'll get that npm error. All right, so yeah, that's the same error. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and try this a different way. And we can, try it now. Make sure it works before you. This is what the kind of stuff the config checker would have caught. Just always assume it's gonna work, but it doesn't. Yarn lock not found. Did I do something wrong here? Slash dot. Just try that again. Huh. So what happens if I don't copy this? I mean, we need to do that. Looks like this is working. Failed to solve. Process did not complete successfully. That doesn't make any sense. Well, let's just go back all the way to what they gave us. I don't have an npmrc. I have my package JSON. Let's just try this one more time. One second. All right, so we got the same thing. Failed to compute npmrc not found. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's because I don't have an npmrc. So let's delete that. Npm install unable to resolve dependency tree. While resolving, cannot resolve dependency. Well, let's look at this thing. Yeah, so here's this demo that we're doing. And this thing, are there issues here? Maybe if I just put this issue in. I'm just gonna Google this message. Okay, so there's some known thing overrides. Put this in packages. Package JSON. Overrides. Alright, let's try now. Looks like it's working. Just waiting for this install step, but I think that means I can go ahead and push this thing. So we're gonna open up a new tab. Is that possible? I don't know how to do that here. I guess this. We can go cd find foods, this. So squinted, we push, and now we're going to see. GitHub's been having some issues today, so I don't know how quick this will come in, but we're going to see a deleted, just to prove I'm not crazy, GitHub status. Let's see. Yeah, still working on webhooks issues, so continue to monitor full recovery. So yeah, they're having a bad day, but we should get this eventually. There we go. So let's close a bunch of this stuff. So yeah, while that's running, let's see if this build works with those changes, and we can make sure this is what we expect. But yeah, we deleted that, and we overrode that. Looks great. We can, this is gonna break, it looks like. Missing script bootstrap. Okay, well, I don't think we need any of this. So here's what we're gonna do. I don't think we need bootstrap. And while we're at it, we'll just get rid of this and we'll do, whatever, who cares? That's fine. We want node-m development. Not sure we want that. I think we want node-m production. We just don't want to supply node-m. Let's just leave it. Change the least that we can. Okay, so this should be more straightforward. I mean, all these steps passed. So yeah, we're gonna just do the same thing. Yeah, so we're getting further, but we're gonna see the same error eventually. We need this back offline. There we go. See foods, status. Okay, I need to write this. File save. This is not working. Sometimes this happens. Usually you just gotta refresh the page. Says I waste more time with non-cloud environments than I do with this. Okay, saved. Start should show that. Add that. Git commit fix. Git push. You can write a better commit message than that if you want to. All right, so that's gonna fail. This one hopefully is gonna get through. And then, yeah, what I was saying was, you know, once we get a green build and this URL works, it's easy for us to get more deployments and more URLs. You know, I'm going to make one called branch 2. if we get lucky and this branch is working and GitHub doesn't have any issues, yeah, we're going to have this. And, this is going to take some time to configure the infrastructure. And in 5 minutes or so, we'll see our initial deployment come in, and then we'll have 2 working environments. And once we get at least the build stage of one of these, we can start a workspace and explore what the Cloud ID functionality of Coherence looks like. But at this point, I'd say we're pretty close to fully onboarded, and pretty soon should be all set. Right, so you can see here in the infrastructure logs, we're adding note here, we're queued waiting for that, and this one is still running. So I think that's a good sign. We can go ahead and check out the logs. Right here. It's a little annoying to get to. We're doing some work to pull these into our dashboard, actually. But yeah, we're still running here. So yeah, be back in a minute as this finishes. All right, so we've got a successful deployment now. I am gonna click here, and yeah, you can see this thing is working just like our local environment was. That's pretty rad. So yeah, let's make a workspace, and while we're waiting for that, we can check out, yeah, our branch 2 is running. So I'd expect, this deployment took about 6 minutes, so I'll probably expect about the same for this. The second one should be much faster because you get layer caching. We could submit one just for fun to see if it gets any faster. And then, yeah, so, you could already see how, I could make branch 3 just as easily as I made branch 2, and your team would be off to the races. I'm running here, and I also have a setting to auto-create pull requests if I wanted to, previews for pull requests rather, so I don't even have to come to Coherence. Just any PR I make, it'll automatically create one of these, and then post the URL as a GitHub comment. I could show you what that looked like by, how could I show you what that looked like? I got to make a PR for one of these, so I got to change something. So, I could go ahead and do that, right? What do I care? I can just use this editor really quick, even though what I'm about to show you with Coherence is a better version of this. In our workspaces with the Cloud Dev environment, we'll just change the README and delete some stuff here. And then we can commit this, README, right, and then, yeah. What am I doing? Okay, here's what we can do. I can enable this setting, and then now that I've edited that branch, we can make a new branch. Right, so here's what we'll do. We'll make branch 3, right, and we will edit the README on branch 3 is what we'll do. Right, we'll delete all this, we'll just say hi. Go here, we'll say hi. We'll commit this, and then what we should see if we go back to github.com, we open a PR for branch 3, should open a preview on Coherence and post that info here. So yeah, we'll do that. It'll take a minute, but we did see GitHub webhooks were having some status issues. But, before too long, we should see a Coherence comment show up here. We should see a preview show up here. So we'll refresh the page and see if that happened. Yeah, look at this. We've already got branch 3, so that auto-created, and it has its URL and things like that. And then, once this build kicks off, we will see a comment show up here that has the same URL and other information right there. So yeah, I'll show you that in 1 second. Probably our workspace is started by now. So this is the Cloud ID on Coherence. So this one's on main. Usually you'd be working on one of these branches, not on your integration or trunk. But yeah, this is the same site we saw before. And I now have this preview link, which, okay, it says bad gateway. I know what it is. It's because it's not listening on the right port. Pretty sure. But we can go co-CLI logs front end. What do we call this? Dashboard. Right. Oh, here we go. Right, so it's running on port 5173, and I don't think that's the port we want it running on. We expose a port variable, so I think what we need to do is look up our package JSON, find dev CLI, and if we go dev dev start build, you can pass parameters. For example, you can run port. That's exactly what we want. Okay, so we want this. We want port $port, and then we're going to need to do something you normally wouldn't have to do. All I have to do is restart the workspace for this after pushing for this. I don't even actually have to push for this to take effect. So let's just go ahead and do that. Stop it, and we'll restart it. Yeah, branch 2 is already running. That's awesome. We've already had a successful deployment. So here we go. We already have our second environment. Valid SSL and everything all working. So this is really cool. And yeah, this build is still queued. Obviously, it's waiting on the infrastructure job again. And you know, once it runs, it will fill this in. Quite confident. Right. So yeah, what we could even do is go here, go create workspace. And this won't have that fix we just did for the one on main, actually. So let's do that. Because we didn't push it, merge it everywhere. And yeah, you can see, you know, these things are cranking and deploying. I also have a Slack integration I could have turned on, installed in a workspace, and chosen a channel to post all these builds into. There's more settings here. Happy to talk through questions if you have them when you take a look at that. Yeah, hoping this starts. I got a meeting in a few minutes, so I'm hoping we can wrap this up. But yeah, I mean, you can already see we got a lot of stuff working, and you know, the dev server in the workspace will work as soon as we listen to the port variable here. You'd be able to change stuff right in there without pushing and waiting for a deploy. You'd see it live right in the browser, sort of like the Cloud Shell experience that I had, but per user, per branch lifecycle. So you can have, you know, as you've seen, workspaces across all these different branches, right? So yeah, we've already got one open here, and you know, just because it doesn't have that change, this will be 502, but you know, you'd see this is on the different Git branch right down here in my browser. You know, that'll populate as this boots up, but it'll be branch 2 as opposed to the other one will be on main. And yeah, you can have multiples of these running, right? They'll have their own previews, they'll have their own VS Code, and you can save VS Code settings and extensions and such in your Coherence profile, so they're available on every branch and ready to go. And you know, you see the boot time of these varies. Getting a real world preview of what this all looks like here. Still waiting for this to run. Here we go. This preview, let's see, could still be starting. Caught it just at the start, but co-CLI log. So co-CLI is obviously our current CLI command, and you know, these are all the things it can do. We have lots of info in the docs about it. If you go down to the reference here, learn more about it. But yeah, co-CLI logs dashboard. That's what we're trying to do. And yeah, okay, we're booting. sig kill, forced termination. This is the old one, I guess. Looks like we're running. Let's see. Here we go, working. So how about that? All right, looks like it's getting killed. Maybe it's out of memory or something like that. I felt that's a code of one. Yeah, not exactly sure what is going on here, but you know, this thing is broadly almost working. I'm sure we could debug it with a little bit more time. I think it's probably memory related, is my guess. And yeah, it could be TypeScript thing related, not sure. But yeah, I'm gonna consider this a successful onboarding. You know, we've got workspaces, we've got preview environments, we could easily add demo or staging environments, static environment types here, you know, as well as a production and a different AWS or GCP account with an easy workflow and RBAC for my different collaborators. And yeah, I can have multiple apps as I wish here. So let's, this August 08 one didn't delete either. Be looking into that separately, but pretty sure if I ran it again, it probably would. Sometimes things don't delete clean in the cloud. Or maybe I just did that also, I don't remember. Oh, wait, delete application. Yeah, so again, this message is a little confusing, but this thing will delete. And yeah, thanks so much for listening and excited to hear some feedback. So feel free to get in touch. Thanks. So yeah, just to check back in here, you know, as soon as that build started, we did get this GitHub comment as expected with our URL, our deploy status, which is still pending, and a link to the Coherence dashboard. And then yeah, that app delete did work the second time. So sometimes you got to do that twice, but happened 1 second after I stopped. So I figured I'd finish. Thanks.